Welcome to the news update. We start tonight with the Champions League final drama. Arsenal's dominant defense carried them through to the final after a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Atletico Madrid at the Emirates. We look at the winners and losers as Antoine Griezmann and Atletico Madrid bowed out with barely a whimper, and what it all means for the big night in Budapest.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we turn our attention to the Premier League landscape and managerial speculation. Diego Simon has been repeatedly linked with high-profile managerial vacancies in England, with Chelsea being floated as a possibility to bring order to the chaotic club. We break down why Manchester United, Manchester City, and Liverpool are not looking at the Argentine, and the historic achievements of Simon at Atletico Madrid. Now for some thrilling European action as Crystal Palace chases glory. Palace are in a commanding position in the Conference League semi-final against Shakhtar Donetsk, leading 3-1 from the first leg and closing in on a European final. We analyze the pressure on Oliver Glasner's team as they face a dangerous Shakhtar side and what it takes to reach the final. And finally, we look ahead to the Europa League knockout stages. We preview the crucial second leg between Freiburg and Braga. Can Freiburg overturn a one-goal deficit against Braga to reach their first-ever European final? Stay with us for the full breakdown and analysis. Noi dung kai tight. Arsenal has secured their place in the Champions League final after a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Atletico Madrid at the Emirates. The match was characterized by Arsenal's trademark style of ugly wins, though Bukayo Saka's decisive goal provided a moment of beauty to the tedious 2-1 result. The victory was heavily underpinned by the team's dominant defense, which successfully limited Atletico to a single clear shot on goal in the second leg, despite a rare error from William Saliba that Giuliano Simon failed to capitalize on. /and key performances were highlighted throughout the match. Miles Lewis-Skelly impressed with a composed display in his second midfield appearance, while Victor Gyökeres received praise for an exhibition of old-school center-forward play. However, the defensive solidity was the primary factor in the semi-final success. As Arsenal's record in the Champions League, this season shows an unbeaten run, largely due to keeping clean sheets in 9 of their 14 fixtures. And looking beyond the immediate triumph, the report delves into the contrasting managerial trajectories of Mikel Arteta and Diego Simon. While Arteta embodies a modern, cynical, win-at-all-costs mentality, drawing parallels to Simon's past tactical approach, both managers share a notable disregard for external criticism. The article suggests that Arsenal's success is a testament to their process and the faith placed in their squad. And meanwhile, Atletico Madrid faces significant upheaval. Diego Simon, the highest-paid manager globally, is increasingly linked to managerial vacancies, though major clubs like Manchester United, Manchester City, and Liverpool are unlikely to consider him. His tenure at Atletico, which saw the club achieve 2-time Spanish championships and reach the Champions League final twice between 2014 and 2016, has concluded without silverware for the 5th consecutive season, following poor performances against Arsenal. And the future for Atletico involves crucial decisions regarding their attacking options, particularly the potential departure of star striker Julian Alvarez, who is reportedly keen to leave due to a perceived lack of service at the Emirates. Alvarez's performance at the Emirates was deemed insufficient, suggesting a potential shift in the squad's attacking structure. And Antoine Griezmann's career at Atletico concludes without a Champions League title, a disappointment given his talent. He struggled to make a significant impact in the first leg against Arsenal, despite showing flashes of brilliance, and will depart the club without the coveted European trophy. And Arsenal's progression to the final signifies a victory for a defense-first football philosophy. The upcoming final in Budapest against either Paris Saint-Germain or Bayern Munich promises a fascinating clash of styles, testing the limits of defensive mastery against world-class attacking power. Neu Dunkai tight. Crystal Palace faces a pivotal moment in the Conference League semi-final against Shakhtar Donetsk, with the team holding a commanding 3-1 lead from the first leg, putting them on the cusp of a European final. Supporters are galvanized, with chants reflecting the belief that they have a chance at European glory. And however, despite the confidence, the situation demands serious consideration of the opposition. While Palace has strong reasons to believe their squad, under manager Oliver Glasner, can secure the win, it is not an absolute certainty. A recent 3-0 defeat to Bournemouth highlighted potential mental fatigue, even with managerial mitigation. And Shakhtar Donetsk has proven to be a formidable opponent, returning strongly and refusing to wilt. Their character was demonstrated by scoring an equalizer just 2 minutes after the break, signaling a self-belief that could translate into the match against Palace. And the Ukrainian side enters the tie with momentum, buoyed by a 2-1 victory over Dynamo Kyiv, continuing an excellent run of form. They are also unbeaten away from home in the tournament, a record that may be keenly felt by the Shakhtar players. And Palace has struggled to thrive at Selhurst Park this season, and any early concession could trigger nerves, a recurring issue. And furthermore, the team must navigate differing European refereeing standards, which reportedly favored Shakhtar in the first leg. The visitors are expected to be aggressive, seeking to create momentum and intensity. And Shakhtar possesses significant European muscle memory and superior experience, particularly highlighted by their right winger, Alisson Santana, who has been a constant threat. The Ukrainian side demonstrates greater capability in creating and scoring opportunities than many Palace has faced. And despite the 2-goal advantage, the threat posed by Shakhtar must not be underestimated. The focus for Palace must be on resolute defense against a talented, attacking side. The onus is on Shakhtar to win comfortably, which could align with Palace's preferred counter-attacking style. The supporters are encouraged to enjoy the match, with an early home goal potentially securing the result. Ultimately, Shakhtar represents the best challenge Palace has encountered in the competition, and their threat warrants serious consideration. As the English Premier League season concludes, Chelsea's ownership has been subjected to intense scrutiny, with analysts labeling their management strategy as a masterclass in self-sabotage. Despite reaching their 6th FA Cup final in 10 years, the review suggests the owners have executed a plan to turn a top team into a basket case. The narrative suggests that while the club possesses a core of talented players, the ownership's approach has been characterized by scattergun recruitment, volatile relationships with managers, and questionable dealings with UEFA, leading to a high ranking in the Football Owners' Hall of Shame. However, the financial handling has drawn a unique, ironic attention. The owners have accumulated significant debt, totaling £1.4 billion, with substantial interest accrued. Furthermore, accounting maneuvers, including the sale of assets, have attracted regulatory attention, resulting in a £26.5 million fine from UEFA for breaching financial rules. The club now faces the risk of a lengthy exclusion from the Champions League if they fail to address these financial and structural issues. Questions persist regarding the strategic decisions made by the private equity investors led by Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital's Behdad Eghbali. Critics point to overpaying for the club initially, and a strategy centered on acquiring young players as assets, which reportedly failed due to issues with player motivation and squad depth. The revolving door of managers, including the sacking of Thomas Tuchel and the hiring of Enzo Maresca, has been highlighted as a symptom of this instability. The business strategy has also been marked by questionable dealings, including the acquisition of numerous players and officials from Brighton for a significant sum, despite Brighton's perceived model of diligence. While the owners have navigated past issues related to the previous regime's rule breaches, The overall sentiment among observers is that the current direction is betting against conventional wisdom in elite football. The immediate future hinges on performance in upcoming matches and the stability of the squad, as the path to European competition remains uncertain. Freiburg faces a crucial test in the second leg of their Europa League semi-final against Braga on Thursday in Baden-Württemberg. To advance to their first-ever European final, the German side must overcome a one-goal deficit following a dramatic 2-1 loss in the first leg in Minho. The first leg saw Freiburg narrowly draw 1-1, with Vincenzo Grifo's 16th-minute goal nullified by a late goal from Mario Dorgel's, despite a penalty save by Noah Adubalo. This result marks the third consecutive defeat for Freiburg, following previous heartbreak in the DFB Pokal and a league loss to Borussia Dortmund. However, the team has shown resilience, securing a 1-1 draw against relegation-threatened Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga, which elevated them to 7th in the table. Freiburg's path to European glory now hinges on this match. The team boasts a strong record at home in European fixtures, having won their last 10 continental home games with 28 goals scored and only 4 conceded. Braga, currently 4th in the Primeira Liga, are also pushing for European qualification. Their first-leg performance ended in a 1-1 draw, with Dorgel's scoring early and Yannis Begrayui netting a late equalizer. While Braga's recent form has been inconsistent, they have shown resilience in the Europa League, losing only twice in their last 20 outings. Injury concerns loom for both sides. Freiburg is dealing with significant setbacks, including Yuito Suzuki being ruled out due to a collarbone fracture, and Max Rosenfelder sidelined with a hamstring issue, alongside Patrick Osterhage recovering from a serious knee injury. Braga also faces absences, with captain Ricardo Horta missing a second consecutive game and several other players sidelined. Key players for Freiburg include Vincenzo Grifo, who is keen to repeat his scoring form in knockout rounds, and goalkeeper Noah Adubalo. Possible starting lineups suggest Freiburg could field Adubalo, True, Ginter, Lienhart, Makengo, Eggestein, Manzambai, Biste, Philip, Grifo, and Matanovic. Braga's potential lineup includes Hornysek, Lagerbielk, V. Carvalho, Moscardo, Dorgels, Gorby, Tiknez, Lilo, P. Victor, Zalazar, and Navarro. Analysts suggest that while Freiburg's home advantage is a factor, Braga's experience and current momentum put them in a strong position to manage the game, making a draw a likely outcome. Further data analysis on potential scorelines is available.